Silence reigns before the storm. We know what is coming, and it ain't sunshine or rainbows. No matter where we live, regardless of political system, economic strength, or borders drawn, the collapse of the fiat system is drawing near. Bank runs, capital controls, and financial stagnation are set to become the new norm. Join us on an astounding journey as we plunge into the depths of the fiat rabbit hole. Together, we unravel the looming collapse of central bank currency and explore the alternatives that guide us to safety in this impending collapse. Buckle up as we explore financial alternatives to reclaim your freedom and prepare for what lies ahead. The real scam is not cryptocurrency, but the regulated fiat system itself, a monetary structure backed by nothing but digital numbers, rapidly devaluing through inflation imposed by central banks. The scam lies in the interest rates manipulating the money supply, with high inflation ravaging the poor and middle class, devouring savings and income. Money gradually loses its value over time, ultimately worth half of what it was just 2 decades ago. The Ponzi scheme is the fractionalization of reserves as performed by the banks. Fiat's failings go beyond inflation. The Visa and MasterCard payment systems, seemingly smooth but deeply interconnected with banks and processors, can freeze accounts, block money transfers, and reject transactions, often without clear reasons. The system that rejects your transaction forces you to contact your bank for details. A simple declined payment can remind you how little control you truly have over your own finances. The new scam is called CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, which threaten to further erode any remaining financial freedom, imposing new controls and surveillance under the guise of modernized currency. The age of fiat, after centuries of centralized power, manipulation, and control, may be ending. Central banks play a pivotal role in shaping the economic landscape of any nation. Their primary responsibilities include regulating the money supply, managing inflation, and ensuring financial stability. However, the methods they use to achieve these goals often come under scrutiny. Inflation, defined as the general increase in prices and fall in the purchasing value of money, can erode savings and reduce purchasing power. Central banks often target a specific inflation rate, typically around 2%, believing it indicates a healthy economy. However, persistent high inflation, like the one we witnessed since 2021, can be detrimental, especially for the poor and middle class, who find their wages stagnating while prices continue to rise. When central banks engage in practices like quantitative easing, essentially injecting money into the economy by purchasing government bonds, they increase the money supply. While this can temporarily stimulate economic growth, it also risks devaluing the currency. Over time, too much money chasing too few goods can lead to runaway inflation, diminishing the value of people's savings and income. Interest rates are a double-edged sword. Lowering them can encourage borrowing and spending, but it can also lead to a bloated economy with asset bubbles. On the other hand, increasing interest rates to combat inflation can have a chilling effect on economic growth. Businesses may hesitate to invest, and consumers may cut back on spending due to higher loan costs. In recent years, the emergence of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, has raised significant concerns about the future of financial freedom. CBDCs represent a new form of state-controlled digital currency that offers central banks unprecedented power to monitor and control transactions. While proponents argue that CBDCs can enhance the efficiency of the payment system and curb illegal activities, the reality is that they may further erode the privacy and autonomy of individuals. With the implementation of CBDCs, central banks can not only track every transaction, but also impose restrictions, effectively granting them the ability to dictate how, when, and where individuals can spend their money. This is particularly alarming in regions governed by totalitarian regimes, where the ability to eliminate dissenting voices from economic activity can be executed swiftly and ruthlessly. By centralizing financial control through CBDCs, these regimes can monitor, restrict, and ultimately silence opposition. China serves as a prominent example of this trend, as the Chinese government actively pursues a strategy to phase out cash and traditional fiat currency in favor of its digital yuan. In a tightly controlled economy, the Chinese Communist Party aims to eliminate the anonymity that cash transactions provide, replacing it with a system where all financial activities are monitored through digital means. This shift towards CBDCs aligns with the government's broader agenda of maintaining control over its citizens and tightening its grip on the economy. As other countries look to China's approach, the potential for a global move towards CBDCs raises alarms about the future of personal financial freedom and autonomy. If cash becomes obsolete, we may find ourselves in a world where our financial choices are not our own, but rather dictated by a centralized authority. The solution lies in permissionless, borderless, decentralized digital cash. Today, we have alternatives, options that were mere dreams only decades ago. Here's how we, as individuals, can escape the death of finance. The creator of Bitcoin foresaw this moment, recognizing that a true shift would arise not from a single authority, but from individual choices. The transition is not controlled by some human in charge of the system, just individuals reacting on their own to market forces. It's time for us to transition to a cryptocurrency-based economy, an economy with no custodians or middlemen. Trustless, decentralized digital cash provides a pathway beyond the fiat collapse. Bank runs and capital controls may accelerate this shift as central banks respond by printing trillions more, constraining an already fragile economy. Have things really changed since 2008? Taxpayers will once again shoulder the burden of institutional mismanagement, while bankers collect bonuses as banks fail and the state intervenes with liquidity injections funded by the taxpayers. In 2008, we had no alternative. Satoshi's ingenious design of Bitcoin was released in early 2009, and it took several years for people to discover it. Bitcoin, born in the aftermath of the 2008 crisis, was once an uncorrupted vision of peer-to-peer electronic cash. Yet over time, Bitcoin was hijacked by a small team of developers, distorting its original vision. The dominant version of Bitcoin today does not serve the people, but rather those with vested interests. The bankers and institutions that now dictate Bitcoin's direction, including CEOs and bankers like Saylor, Novogratz, and others. Now, as another wave of financial instability looms, we must ask, is there a safe harbor this time? Is there an alternative that works for absolutely everyone? Thankfully, there are quite a few. Viable alternatives do exist, but we must examine them carefully. Not every blockchain is functional, censorship-resistant, or decentralized in the ways we need. As individuals, we must choose battle-tested, permissionless cryptocurrencies for daily transactions, ones that aren't subject to the high fees and centralization of certain networks. The future of crypto lies not in speculation, but in adoption for everyday use. To prepare for the coming fiat collapse, start transacting through non-custodial decentralized wallets, inform others, and begin using crypto for real, everyday purchases. Real freedom begins with everyday actions and taking control of our own assets. The era of fiat may be waning, but a new system rooted in decentralization, transparency, and individual choice offers a way out. Let's take the first steps together. Start using your crypto away from centralized platforms, and you will have a ready solution to the fears of a collapsing fiat currency. As we stand on the brink of a new financial era, it's clear that traditional finance is facing unprecedented challenges. The signs are all around us. Inflation eroding our purchasing power, the specter of bank runs looming, and the rise of central bank digital currencies threatening to further infringe upon our freedoms. Yet amidst this turmoil, hope emerges from the shadows of uncertainty. We are no longer bound by a system designed to benefit a select few. The rise of cryptocurrencies offers us a pathway to reclaim our financial independence, putting the power back into the hands of individuals. The journey ahead will require courage, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to hold the keys to our own financial futures. The death of fiat may signal the end of an era, but it also heralds the dawn of a new, empowered age. One where financial freedom is not just a dream, but a reality we can achieve. A future where money is free from political manipulation and fully independent from state control and mismanagement. Let's embark on this journey together and discover the endless possibilities that await us in a world liberated from the constraints of the fiat system.